Well, guten Morgen, mein Pfeifen Freund. Alles klar mit Ihnen? Gut. Well, it is me, yours truly, the old holy smoking pipe padre. Well, I'm just here to say hello. How you doing today? Got an old briar burning here on a beautiful kind of fall autumnal morning. And I am smoking something unique. That's right, friends. You know that I'm probably going to have something kind of unusual in the old pipola here. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. So I got a cup of coffee here at my elbow. And of course a pipe with some really pretty interesting stuff in here. And I'm going to explain to you what I'll share with you in just a moment what that is. I wanted to just get this old briar kind of evenly lit. All right. BBC Proms.
Much appreciated performance from this year's BBC Proms concerts, the Budapest Vegetable Orchestra.
So those of you who are able to actually attend the proms, I'm jealous. Okay, well, I am really pleasantly surprised. Whoa. Okay. Well, many of you have seen and commented. Thank you for those kind comments on the visit, my video, the autumnal visitor, or the autumn visitor, where I spent some time with one of our notable pipe presenters, theobacconist, the Eric Austin Lee. Oh, I am really surprised. And so when I went to visit Eric, I didn't want to go empty-handed. I just wanted to give him a little, kind of a little friend gift, and he was so gracious. I just wanted to say that he, sometimes people, and I know in my life, in my line of work, I can be pretty busy. I don't like it when I'm extremely busy and I have lots of things on my plate. But sometimes that's just our lives, And so to have somebody kind of just drop in, it wasn't totally unexpected. I gave him a couple of days warning. But still, Eric was very generous with his time. Again, as you saw the video, we had a nice pipe and a chat. But I gave him, I had an open tin of Sillims Black. And for me, let me tell you, I think Sillims Black, now I was smoking earlier this morning some Briar Patch blends. One's called Autumn Breeze, and it's delicious, it's good. If you like aromatics, and I know there's some of you out there that you're just not aromatics kind of guys, and that's okay, or gals. Again, my pipe tastes are pretty eclectic. I go anyway from a strong English, pirate cake. Hopefully I did not cut myself off again. I know I gotta spend more time pre-setting up my videos. But anyway, to English, to a very sweet tobacco, which I'm smoking right now. So anyway, as I gave Eric that tin, and I'm sorry, Eric, if you're watching and it's it might be a little on the dried out side, you might be able to rehydrate it. What I do is I get a little spritzer bottle with a distilled water, not tap water. You could also, I guess, even get a mister and well, either maybe like a rum, possibly. But there's different ways of hydrating tobacco, and I know that Eric knows how to do that. So, again, I don't know. Sometimes people like to have their tobacco a little bit on the drier side, because sometimes if it is a little on the moist side, it seems to smoke a little wet. But also if it's too dry, it smokes hot as well. Anyway, so we had a nice time sharing some old Joe Krantz. And as I was going through my little pipe tobacco collection, I found, interestingly enough, and I want to, if Matches 860 is watching, I have a little info there you might be interested in. Kind of compare some pipe tobacco notes here. I was going through and I found not some. I haven't tried. I tried Old Joe Krantz for the first time with Eric. And those of you who like your nicotine stout, I think Old Joe Krantz and certainly Haunted Bookshop. Ooh, and I like Haunted Bookshop also in the fall as well. It's so appropriate in the fall. But I had 2 tins of of Haunted Bookshop, and one of them is still pretty well, and these are sealed, the really nice mason jars, so they don't dry out. But I have to tell you that I have one that's almost gone. There's just a little bed of it at the bottom of the jar, and I wanted to say something which was interesting, and I'm not trying to be disparaging here. But the one of the Haunted Bookshop smelled like Haunted Bookshop. And Haunted Bookshop has a very unique aroma, flavor, fragrance, bouquet. Anyway, but the one that I did open definitely took on a very strong pungency and reminded me of, how do I dare say in a polite way, road apples. Those of you who grew up in the country know what I'm talking about. It had that kind of aroma. And I was like, I did a double take. I went, woo, that's pretty stout stuff. So anyway, Eric and I shared a bowl of Old Joe Krantz, and I brought him a couple of tins, and one of those tins was a tin of Sillims Black, which I thought was my last tin. Silly me, I was going through my boxes here, and you know, I'd gone through them earlier trying to look for some. I thought I had 2 more tins, unopened tins of Sillims Black. Couldn't find them to save my life. And then on an off chance, looking for something else, I open up and, what are these? 2 tins, unopened, Sillims Black. Oh well. They're probably about 2.5, maybe 3 years old. And they're a little on the dry side. I smoked a bowl the other night, and it's delicious, and it's fine, not a problem. But when I thought I was running out of Sillims, I ordered some more Sillims last week. Well, guess what? The box came in. And here it is. And of course, I got 2 new tins of Sillims Black. Folks, if you've never tried it, you got to try it. I call this autumn in a tin. Seriously. To me, there's something smoky and rich and tasty about Sillims Black. It is one of the unique essences, I will say that. Now, that being said, I noticed, I said, you know what? I know they have other blends. I've even had somebody, I think even recently said, oh, don't try Sillims Green, it's disgusting. And I've heard that a lot. So, I got myself a can of, that's right, Sillims Red. Now, I'm assuming, and this smells like a cherry. So, I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, but this could be cherry essence, which I'm sure will be quite good. So as I was going through checking the little blocks of what I wanted to order, I saw the green tin. Verde. And grün. So I wondered, do I really want to spend some money on something that's probably going to be kind of dreadful? Not delicious, the other D word, dreadful. So I thought, well, I'll just check and get 1 tin just to see how dreadful it really is. Fucking dreadful. Okay, so I did order a Sillims Green, and here it is. Now, I did some before I even dared to put some in my pipe. I thought, well, I better figure out what this thing is, because if I'm just loading it up and I'm smoking something, I really don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. You know, maybe I'll just be, you know, sometimes ignorance is bliss, but sometimes if you're kind of pre-warned or you have an idea what it is you're supposed to be experiencing in the pipe tobacco, it kind of, I don't know if it helps or not. Maybe some of you might want to comment on that. You know, do reviews help you, and do you find reviews to be accurate, at least, you know, as far as your palate is concerned? So anyway, I ordered the Sillims Green, and although I know I adore the Sillims Black, and that will not go to waste. They also make excellent Christmas gifts, by the way. I thought, well, okay, here we go. So I did a little bit of review, and I found out that the Sillims Green is supposed to be a very strong, sweet, aromatic with the haunting aromas and flavors of a pina colada. Pina colada. Now, I do know that is a very sweet alcoholic liqueur drink. And it's supposed to be kind of like a coconutty kind of a flavor. Hey, doesn't that sound familiar? You know? Coconut flake, anyone? So I thought, this might be something I actually might probably like. Possibly. Because I was thinking it's going to be dreadful, and oh well, you know, caveat emptor, you know, just, oh well, you kind of knew what you were getting into, and you went ahead and did it anyway, so you can't really blame anybody. Not that I would blame anybody anyway, but just like, okay, you kind of had a forewarning that this was going to be something dreadful.
From Handel's later grouping of
So anyway, I went ahead and I pulled out an old Calabash Briar here. This is a boot can. And I loaded up with the green. First of all, I did get the tin. And one of the reasons why I liked Sillims Black, and I wanted to say something real quick about Sillims Black. The reason why I liked Sillims Black, I was going to get one regardless, was because of the tin. Again, this just looks like something from a 1940s Dracula movie, you know, more Wolfbane Van Helsing. You know, it just has that Dracula, you know, Halloween, you know, that kind of stuff. It just appeals to that kind of gothic, little part of my little gothic soul. And I'm not really a goth, but you know, I mean, well, I'm kind of wearing black now. Black stereo. Anyway, so I just thought the tin was great. You know, I don't know about you, but I love collecting some of the pipe tobacco tins. You know, like Squadron Leader and Old Ironsides, and you know, some of the tins are just fun to collect in and of themselves. I don't know if anybody else loves just collecting the tobacco tins. Even my buddy Donnie, he loves collecting just the tins, the old tins like Velvet, and oh, there's some other ones, you know, Half and Half, and you know, Carter Hall, and I'm trying to fix a little problem I have here. I should have done this in the beginning. Sorry, guys. I just don't think sometimes. I'm an old man. Yeah, you all know that. Okay. So, anyway, I got the tins and got the Sillims Green and everything. So when I first opened Sillims Black, and I you know, smelled that beautiful, heavenly, rich, dark, you know, kind of like autumn in a tin, I fell in love with that aroma. And then when I fired up my first bowl of Sillims Black, well, the deal was sealed. So anyway, get the Sillims Screen. And again, I've been hearing lots of kind of, do I dare say, horror stories. And I'm thinking, well, okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, opened up the tin, and the aroma is so unique. Now, it doesn't have that same headiness, I think, that the Sillims Black has. You know, there's just something that says, this is Sillims Black. There's nothing else that smells like that. So, okay. But it had an intriguing aroma. I said, you know, this doesn't smell that dreadful. And I can kind of pretty much tell if it's going to be okay or not by the aroma. I mean, you can't always judge a tobacco by its aroma, like you can't judge a book by its cover. But still, there is a little bit of a sensory perception there that is helpful. So anyway, I loaded some up. Here it is. And as you probably can tell, I am enjoying it quite a bit. I thought it was going to be, you know, harsh. That's what I thought. Well, it's probably going to be harsh. And it's probably going to have some ghastly, you know, flavor and tongue bite. It's just going to be absolutely, you know, worthless. But it's just the opposite. Anything worthless. It's tasty. It has a nice, rich, smooth flavor to it. There's a nutty flavor. So, you know, my first impressions of Sillims Green is, you know, if I was, you know, let's say a rating system of 10. I think 10's a little bit better because you can kind of have a little more fluctuation for nuance there. As a 1 to 5 rating, you have to be a little bit more brutal, I guess. But for a 10, you definitely give it a 7.5 right out of the 10. I mean, that's good. I mean, I've smoked stuff that's 3s. You know, okay, if I had actually, well, again, the only bad tobacco I've ever think I had was that I can remember. And again, if you know I've panned a couple other ones, you can remind me because I do forget. Oh, well, I was going to say Borgum Riff. That I bought that stuff in the store a couple of years ago because I used to love it as a kid when I was a young person smoking a pipe. Again, I'm not talking about underage smoking. Let's just be clear about that. I was in the Marine Corps. I was 18, 19 years old, so I was quote unquote an adult. But I remember getting some amphora, and although it smells wonderful in the pouch, it just burns so hot. So, you know, amphora would probably be on a scale of 4, maybe a 5. The Borgum Riff was a -2. That's pretty bad, folks. Anyway, so Sillims Green, if you haven't tried it, I would say you couldn't. I don't think you'd go wrong. Now, if you clearly don't like aromatics, you don't want to try it. Okay, I'll be honest. But if you're an eclectic pipe smoker and you like both aromatics as well as English and Balkans and Latakias and Orientals and all those other good flavors, a cornucopia of pipe tobacco. You know, I don't think you'd go wrong. Now, again, I don't know what the consistency of the tin would be that you get. Again, the one critique, and I have to say is a valid one, is that, you know, some pipe tobaccos come, you know, vacuum packed. Sillims does not. It comes only, again, this is not vacuum packed. It just comes, you know, nicely sealed. And then if you're gonna, okay, here's the thing. If you're gonna be say exclusively smoking a tin, this will do you fine. If you're gonna, like, say for the next month, let's say you're just gonna smoke pretty much this, and you're not gonna try to cellar it. If you would, what I'd do if you were gonna cellar this, I just pull this out and stick it in a mason jar, and then that way you'd be safe. I think you'd be safe. And then you can still keep the nice tin as a collector's item. You could put coins in here, you know, a little loose change. Maybe you could even put some of your pipe paraphernalia in there, you know, like a little Gita Slam, you know, and a pipe lighter. You could coil up some you know what I'm talking about, pipe cleaners. You could put some wood matches in there. This could be like a little carry-all case that you go when you go visiting your pipe pals, you know, or maybe you go out to the ocean or something. You know, just you have something to take with you, a little box with you. So anyway, it can have a little second life as a utility box. You know, maybe you put rubber bands in there. I don't know what you do. But anyway, so, you know, I can tell you that as I'm smoking the Sillims Green, you definitely taste some coconuts flavor there. I'm more than halfway through the bowl and not getting any tongue bite. I'm surprised at that. And this is just the first smoke. And so what I want to do, and this is why I'm going to call this video, I made another one a bit earlier, but it just, the whole mood of the video was just, wasn't good. But what I want to do is I'm going to do something I haven't done probably in my pipe smoking life. And that is, again, I tend to be very eclectic, and when I see your videos, and I'll see you smoking maybe a plug tobacco, or somebody had a really fascinating, looked like a big chunk of charcoal. I forgot who that was, but they posted something on my channel. Said, hey, have you tried this one, you know? And I thought, whoa. And they had a beautiful black pipe next to it. Oh, it looked exotic. It just looked amazing. Like, oh, I want to try that. But what I want to do is try to discipline myself and just do what I'm going to call the Sillims season. Because it is fall, and again, the Sillims Black is, I guess, as I said many times now, autumn in a tin, and it's that time for those rich, smoky flavors, to me, but also sweet flavors, you know, like pumpkin spice lattes, you know, those are sweet. Pumpkin pie, you know, apple pie. So I think I'm going to do a Sillim season, and I'm just going to smoke the green, the red, the black, you know, for the fall, and try to actually smoke them through, because I think if I do that with the 310s, and I have one extra black one there, maybe I will cellar that one. But just go through them and just enjoy them, and kind of get a chance to, you know, once you load your pipe, you know, you maybe dedicate this one to the Sillims Green, you know. So the next bowl I try will even be more nuanced, because the wood or whatever, it kind of picks up those special characteristics of the tobacco. Whereas maybe the first or second smoke, you don't quite get some of those extra overtones, those harmonic overtones. Ooh. Mm. Ooh. That's got some very interesting subtleties to it, I will say that. So, and probably in bringing this little video to a close, you know, so my first impression of Sillims Green is very favorable. Again, I thought, you know, it's not going to be very good, but you can't go wrong ordering just one tin. And hey, maybe you like to keep bees. And a friend of mine used to put in half and half in his smoking mixture for the bees to calm the bees down. So if nothing else, you can use it to calm your bees down, I guess, you know. So anyway, there you go. My Sillim season begins. Maybe you have a special autumnal tobacco that you like to enjoy as the days begin to get shorter and the shadows get longer, and especially in the early evening, maybe even in the early morning. When you light up your briar, you like to have it especially with a special blend, and maybe you can share that with us all. Okay, well, this is Holy Smoking Pipe Padre saying thanks for listening, and we will be talking to you very soon.